Mayor, how are you doing today?
Doing great, thank you.
Man, how does it feel to be the mayor of a city as great as Tuskegee, but small, in times like these?
Well, I mean, it's a tremendous challenge. Tuskegee is a small city in a rural community, and we forget that sometimes. But because Tuskegee is such a well-known city with a great university and a great history, we're recognized worldwide. So there are tremendous expectations for Tuskegee as a city and as a community, and working with the university. Our key is to be able to continue to maintain the expectations of Tuskegee as a world-renowned and world-known community and university, and set the standards that we have to have for what people expect to see coming out of our community, which have been excellence, greatness, a commitment to service, creativity, and just outstanding performance in a whole lot of different areas, from science to music to agriculture. Tuskegee is expected to be and do things.
Do the citizens as a whole, man, understand what's going on, and are they appreciative of the dilemma that you leaders are in, not knowing about this kind of pandemic because this has never ever happened before? What kind of response are you getting from the people?
Well, it is a different situation for all people, Chief. For the majority of the people, probably about 80%, they respond well and are doing what needs to be done. As much as 20% of the people are ignoring the protocols and the safety because they don't understand it or believe it. And the problem is that 20% can impact the other 80% that's following what needs to be done. So it's a challenge for us because on the one hand, we have to limit people and restrict their freedoms. On the other hand, you just don't want to arrest people for every little thing that they do. But we've got to protect the citizens of this community and the citizens of all the communities around us. It's a very serious situation, and this boils down to life and death. We cannot allow the coronavirus epidemic to spread in our community. We've lost 2 individuals. We have about 19 cases at this point. We don't need any more. And the main way we prevent that is to practice social distancing, a gathering only in small groups that are spread out, and do the best we can to protect ourselves with masks like we have on today, with gloves, and with wipes, and any kind of sanitary methods we can use to keep things clean.
Mayor, the health department jumped out on Front Street for 4 hours and went through the motions and did 14 or 15 tests, packed up their stuff and went away. Is that going to be dealt with? Is there any recourse to that?
Well, as a result of your questions and your revealer, I got with EMA Director Frank Lee, Commission Chairman Maxwell, Ms. Bernice Frazier of the Macon County Health Care Authority, and we contacted the State Health Department. Mr. Burleson, who's the regional coordinator, contacted us, and he is helping us to set up testing here in Macon County on next Tuesday.
Okay, so they are coming back and doing additional testing, is that right?
They're coming back to do additional testing on this Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. because they have to get the results to Montgomery. They can't keep them out for so long. They have to be in Montgomery before 4:30 or 5 o'clock. He did commit to do additional testing in future dates, but the first date is coming up on this Tuesday. Quality of Life Healthcare Center will be extending testing starting Monday again. They'll begin testing again. Tuskegee Medical Surgical will be doing testing for their patients, and there's one other set of private company that's doing testing as well.
How is the cooperation in this whole pandemic situation among the leaders of this county and city?
Well, one thing I can say that everyone seems to be cooperating well. We all realize we're facing a challenge. We're trying to find ways to work together to make things happen. We communicate and get information out on the radio and the TV as best as we can. And we all come together to challenge the state and the federal government to do more for our community. We've come together to find out about resources that will be provided, the stimulus resources. We just got a commitment for the City of Tuskegee Airport for $20,000. Talked with our consultant from Dothan, Barge Solutions, Barry Mott. He talked with FAA, and they indicated to us that we would get that $20,000 in the next week or so. We're also getting other resources for the city. I'm one of the 10 mayors that will be working to decide how we'll divide up the money coming to the 400 cities and 66 counties in the state of Alabama. I was chosen to be on the stimulus committee, and I appreciate the confidence they had to put me on that committee to try to help come up with an equitable way that we can all split up the money that's left outside of the 55% of the money that the state gets out of $1.9 billion. Then the rest of the money goes to the cities and the counties, 66 counties and over 400 cities.
What do you need from the citizens, Mayor?
The main thing we need from the citizens, Chief, is communication, to communicate to each other about how important it is for us to get through this period. We got about 2 to 3 more weeks to practice this kind of social distancing and to be extra safe, and we think the curve will go down. We'll see some results. But that requires all of us to do that and communicate it to others how necessary it is. Also, we just need a little more patience from the citizens. And we thank them for the patience they've given so far. Working with their children, working with the education system, working with the city, doing the best that they can during this time. Communication is key and patience is key. We need good information, Chief. It's too many times we get information from citizens. It's just not. Communication is extremely important because, as you know, when the pandemic first came out, people were saying black people were not affected by that. They went on videos, YouTube, and social media, and that was very negative and has had a bad impact upon the black community because a lot of people believe that we couldn't be affected by the coronavirus. So we have to put out good information, share good information, and make good practices. We're going to get through this and get it and come out on the other side doing pretty good if we follow the protocols. The city is continuing to do what it needs to do. We had our city council meeting on last Tuesday. It was live broadcast, live streaming. We'll continue to do that so the information gets out. We've completed the business out at the terminal building, Herbert E. Carter Terminal Building, fortunately. We'll be able to take possession of that building. As I indicated, we got $20,000 additional from FAA to go toward the airport. We've completed some dates that we had to put out May 25th regarding the election coming up, the city election. We have to stipulate the district lines by May 25th, which we have done. We responded to the census, and we set up May 25th to set the city limit lines so they understand who's eligible to run for different offices. You have to be within the city limits by that date in order to be eligible to run for office. We have some people who've expressed an interest. Qualifying will not be held until July for the August 25th election. And I've had some people that have asked about that. I'm going to deal with that personally after we get through this pandemic situation. We are being called every day to deal with that. But I will talk about my re-election efforts after that particular period of time.
Well, you know, it's been a struggle. It's an uphill situation, man, this day and time to be a good leader. You think you're going to stay the course, or you think you're going to pack up your stuff and run for cover?
Well, it's tempting sometimes to think about just going and relaxing, but you know, we've done a lot of work in this period of 3.5 years, and it's a lot of things that we had to overcome when we came into office. I'm very pleased to see some positive things happening as a result of that. We have more people coming into this community to invest in this community in terms of housing, other improvements, and giving their ideas and their money as well. So I plan to be seeking re-election at the appropriate time because it's a lot that we need to finish. And we've got a good team that is accomplishing some things. And I think if we keep working together like we're doing, we get a number of things accomplished and see them come about. It takes some time to get where we needed to be, but now that we've gotten ourselves stable financially, I think we'll see a lot of good things continue to happen in our city.
Okay, sir. I thank you for taking the time to entertain these questions.
Good afternoon. It's Tuesday, April 21st, 2020. I simply wanted to take a brief moment to share with some of our citizens where we are with the coronavirus pandemic situation and also information regarding the upcoming municipal elections. We want to remind everyone to continue to practice the protocols that's put out by the governor and by the city council regarding coronavirus. It is extremely important that we do everything that's necessary to keep our people safe, to respect others, to practice social distancing, to shelter in place, and observe the curfew that's been put out by the city of Tuskegee. These measures may be a little challenging to us right now, but in the long run, they will help keep us safe. I'm pleased to announce that as a result of our efforts last week, working with Bernice Frazier of the Macon County Healthcare Authority, Mr. Frank Lee, who's the Emergency Management Director, Chairman Louis Maxwell, and myself, we talked to Mr. Burleson, the State Health Department, and he is making available to us testing today here in Macon County at the Macon County Health Department. So we're very fortunate to have that testing done because we want to make sure that our people get tested as much as possible and as many tests that we can get for our people that are available and make them available here in Tuskegee and Macon County. So today on Tuesday the 21st, we do have testing here in Macon County from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we hope that the results will show that our numbers have not increased, but we have to stay on guard because the pandemic is very, very serious and it have an impact on our people throughout the United States. The other main thing I wanted to share today, Chief, was that municipal elections scheduled for August 25th right now are still in place. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, there were some questions and concerns regarding the schedule of the 2020 municipal elections in the entire state of Alabama. State and county runoff elections were postponed to July 14, 2020, and we're backing up close to the August municipal election date. Friday, April 17, 2020, Ms. Tanae Frazier, who's the Assistant General Counsel for the Alabama League of Municipalities, sent out an email informing us that the Executive Committee had met and determined that the municipal elections will proceed as scheduled on August 25th, 2020. However, to quote her, she says, if conditions do not improve statewide, the committee will reevaluate its position on postponement of the 2020 municipal elections by order of the governor, if that becomes necessary. Attorney Frazier is a former employee of the City of Tuskegee and the Mayor and City Manager's Office. It is my understanding to date that Mayor Pro Tem Councilwoman Annie Lucas Brown intends to seek re-election and Councilwoman Shirley Curry in District 3 plans to seek re-election. Councilwoman Alla Whitehead in District 2 has expressed her intent not to seek re-election this year. Utilities Board Chairman Harold Washington and Board Member Ulysses Roberts have also expressed their intent to seek re-election to the Utilities Board. And as mayor, I will announce my intent to seek re-election in the weeks to come after we have passed the peak period of this coronavirus threat to our community. We ask that the community continue to practice the coronavirus protocols of 6 feet, social distancing, and sheltering in place put out by the governor, and also to recognize the curfew 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. established by the mayor and the city council of the city of Tuskegee. The situation with the coronavirus is very, very serious, and we're hoping more and more of our people will come to understand that. Some of you may have seen the CNN special on Sunday night, said COVID-19 and people of color. You had everyone from Snoop Dogg to Magic Johnson to people like Charles Barkley speaking of the importance of taking care of ourselves, practicing social distancing, and understanding how serious this is to our community nationwide. So we want to remind people here in our community that we have to do everything we can to keep ourselves safe. The numbers are still going up. We hope that we're going through the peak period now and we'll start to see the numbers come down. But we won't know for a week or so. So let's keep practicing the protocols as best we can. I've been on conference calls with people from the U.S. Congress, Senator Doug Jones, U.S. Senator Doug Jones, Congresswoman Terry Sewell, and just yesterday I was on with Congressman Mike Rogers. They're giving us information about how to be safe and about testing and improvements that can be made. They're also giving us information about the opportunities to get funding through the stimulus money that's coming as a result of the coronavirus and how it's impacted our communities. There's PPP money for payment processing that has to do with people who were not able to get their paychecks or businesses who were not able to pay people. We also had money being paid to people who had small businesses, whether they were entrepreneurs or received a 1099. There's opportunity there. Churches will have an opportunity to apply for resources. We also have governments, our cities, our counties will have a chance to apply. I'm one of the 10 mayors on a special committee to determine how the money will be distributed for the cities and counties in the state of Alabama. And we should have something coming out soon. Congressman Mike Rogers told me that the money for the cities and counties, the first round, will be coming out by the end of this week. And they've already decided they're going to have a second round because cities and counties will suffer so much because of loss of revenue. Right now, we're trying to work with everyone in our community to help them apply for that funding. If you get your personal payroll assistance or other assistance through the stimulus program. We have people in the community, the Macon County Community Development Corporation on Dibble Street is also working with the Chamber of Commerce and other businesses to make those resources available to you. However, they go very, very rapidly. We have churches that are now applying for loss of resources, and that possibility is there. But Congressman Rogers mentioned to me yesterday that we need to get ready for that as soon as possible because the second round will be coming out, and the money goes very, very rapidly. You have to work with your banks or your credit unions and someone who knows how to apply during that process. A number of people in our community have already received checks. A number of businesses have. The city has applied and will get part of the amount that was sent to the state of Alabama. Billions of dollars. 55% went to the state, 45% goes to over 400 cities and 66 counties. So we received part of that. We have already received the part that we get for the airport. The city of Tuskegee has already received notice that we'll get $20,000 just for our airport. And we just have to sign the papers and get in the paperwork that's necessary. So I want to encourage everyone to follow the steps that are needed to get whatever stimulus money that you may qualify for, whether you're a restaurant or private business, you're a business that employs people, or if you're a sole proprietorship, or if you get a 1099. Anyone participating in our economic activity in the United States is basically eligible. You just have to figure out what category. I want to give you again the relevant dates coming up regarding the municipal elections. At this point, again, they will be held on August 25th, 2020. By May 25th, district lines have to be designated by the city, which have been established, and candidates, potential candidates, have to make sure that they have established their residence by May 25th. Between July 7th and July 21st, we'll be qualifying for our positions in the municipal election and Utilities Board elections. And as again, August 25th will be the election date. We do not have not established a runoff date as yet, but that will be forthcoming. Any changes and additional information regarding the municipal election, you can contact Ms. Fatima B. Clark, who's our city clerk, or me, Lawrence Tony Haygood, as your mayor, and we'll get the information to you. So we encourage you to keep updated. Some things may change, as is indicated earlier, but right now the elections are scheduled on August 25th as previously established. We remind you to qualify and get all the necessary papers and observe all the requirements and guidelines that we have for our candidates in the upcoming elections. But again, most importantly, our number one thing that we want to remind everyone is take care of your health. Because as someone said, it's not just about you, it's about the health of our entire community. One individual can affect their family, as we have seen, or a whole church, or a whole community, as we have seen. The mayor of Atlanta, like the mayor of Montgomery, Stephen Reed, and the mayor of Bottoms in Atlanta have all said, we're looking to take care of our people. Our health is the number one thing that we look at. Take advantage of the stimulus payments coming out as a result of the coronavirus and how it's impacted our communities economically. But take care of our health first. Practice the social distancing. Try to wear your mask, as I have here and have been wearing. I wear my mask. Wear your gloves when necessary. And try to stay away from any crowds. A little bit disappointing that we have some people still meeting in crowds and being very close to each other, less than 6 feet. Just last night I passed through one neighborhood where there were about 20 cars plus at one house. And it was inside or in the backyard. I couldn't interfere with it, but I'm sure there couldn't have been more social distancing, and it's already by the number of cars over 10 people. The governor's order is no more than 10 people gathering in any location. That goes for religious activities, social activities, all activities at present. They're looking to relieve those restrictions at the end of this month. So if we can keep our numbers down, we may be able to get through this faster than having to carry it out longer. So let's work together, let's practice safe habits, and let's take care of each other as best as we can. Thank you, and we'll be sharing more information with you as it becomes available. Thank you, Chief.